Heard he's
Buddy,
awesome.
he's always with us. He's going to be our
And
guest.
here we
We'll
are
talk to him.
live on Talking Tough from Maui with Flex Wheeler pointing a
We're
gun
live.
at you. We're going to have to find
Hey
out.
guys, Rick got froze. Hey, welcome to Talking Tough with Butterbean, Flex, and Rick Bassman. And all my co-hosts are frozen. They've lost their internet connection, but I'm here. I just want to say hi to everybody and hopefully everybody's doing good tonight. We got a great show. We're going to try to answer some questions. If y'all got some questions for us and all, and I'll throw it up to Rick.
Thank you, Bean. Good to see you. Good to see you, my two bald, beautiful brothers. As always, every week. And bald, beautiful taste. Brothers. Butterbean boss, bald, beautiful brother. That's a lot of alliteration, as they would say in English class. It's good to see you guys, man. We will have Boss with us shortly. He's at a family dinner. Boss is always right on time, so he let us know this a little while in advance. We lost our guest. That's okay, though. We have a huge guest lineup coming up. I'm not worried about it. This just gives us a chance, Bean and Flex and Boss and myself, to shoot the breeze a bit. So why don't we do this? I have some ideas for us tonight where we can screw around and have some fun. But first, let's check in. Let's see what's going on with everybody this week. Flex, what's up with you, man?
As I said last week, I hate complaining. But I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be old enough to understand that saying. I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. But I'm 6 feet above ground. That's a beautiful thing. Just still trying to make it, brother. Still trying to make it. Trying to inspire people. I said it before, but. Being just to look at you and to seeing how violent you was, man, you always got this happy grin about you. I look down there, like how could I have a bad day looking at this guy? And then I remember how you smash and rearrange people's, front teeth and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it's good to see you, Bean. How's everything going to you, brother?
I got paid for it, so that's the amazing, great part about life. I got paid for it.
You guys, excuse me. I'm running from the camera. You'll see why in a second. Bean, I just wanted to
if I see a lion or some big bear or something, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's actually my strap-on that I occasionally use on myself. No, I'm kidding. That was a horrible joke. But Bean, thank you so much. I received this pen from you, brother. Man, it is amazing. The craftsmanship. Good grief, man. This is beautiful. Jeez, you know what? I can use this as a weapon. I can take this on a plane, and do some nice little wet work. You know what I mean? But look at that thing, you guys. That is just beautiful.
It's made from woolly mammoth ivory, Rick.
Wow, look at that there.
Bean, do you realize that in the first 2 minutes of the show today, Flex Wheeler showed us his handgun on screen. He then told us about his sex toys. And now he's talking about how he's going to kill people on an airplane. And
love it.
Got such a
always.
Nice smile
don't
on
leave
his
home
face
without
too.
it. Don't leave home without it.
Very smart. And I got a stabbing pen too. Whoa!
Oh, look at yours. I like your color. Look at that there, man.
That's the orange Dutch color.
Exactly. You can do some nice work with these.
I need to get your address, Rick. I got some stuff to send you.
Bean,
I think Bean knows I was about to call him out.
That's all right. How's your week going, boss?
But I'm sorry.
How's your week going?
My week was going good. At New Year's Eve, I think I was in bed at 10 o'clock. I said to my wife, "I'm out." I was up at 5. I was at the gym at 6. I did everything, jumped in the sauna, and then I've been doing that for the last 6 days. That's my new regimen. So I get up, I go to my meditation, do all the stuff, hit the gym really early, hit the sauna, do my 30 repetitions with my long training device, start my workout. After 45 minutes, the sauna, I do some stretching in the heat, meditation, relaxing, 7:30, I'm out. I did everything. It's amazing.
Jeez. Man, you make me feel like garbage. You still keep your regimen. I mean, you just you inspire me, but also make me feel like crap also, to see everything that you get done.
In the morning, I'm in bed.
You made me tired just telling me about your regimen. I'm exhausted just listening to it.
Flex, I got to tell you, man, I had exactly the same reaction about what Boss was saying, like inspired and bummed out at the same time. But I think we all know, you know, you guys have all been professional high-level athletes. I've been around it my whole life. We all know, man, we can make the decision to switch over to that any day. And you know, I've been like fighting that every day. I know I'm not doing what I should be doing and what I will be doing, but we always have the ability to make that change for sure. So Flex, let's get back into it, man. Let's do it.
Let's, 100%. 100%. Actually, great thing is I'm not going to challenge Bas. I hate losing. So I like setting myself up for success. But I just want to go on record right now and challenge all of us right now to try to get back into the best shape of our life. I know you're at work with that, but also just to inspire all of our listeners and our followers. Let's as a family, as this incredible race, this human race, man. Let's just inspire people and no matter what's going on with 2022, let's make the best version of it. And that best version starts within us, right? I mean, it's so crazy. It's like, you know, when I wash my car, it seems like it just drives so much better. It's the same damn car. And the same thing when I go in the gym and I actually train. I mean, you know, I'm not stupid. It's a lifestyle, right? But I just feel so much better because I got something done, you know, and it's like these like little feelings that you get of just a sensation of you feel better about yourself. So I just want to inspire everybody, starting with us four, man. Let's just take it upon ourselves to just make 2022 the best version that we can. And that starts right here. It's all perception, right? It's like that old saying, the glass is half. It's half. So we can look at it and
hold ourselves and hold each other accountable to this, because I want to do it. What are we going to do?
Hey, don't tell me, I ain't got time.
You got to wake up earlier. That's what I do. Otherwise, I don't have the time either.
I don't sleep good enough as it is.
Oh, that's not good.
No, me neither, Bean. Me neither. I don't sleep well, but you know,
I have a real bad trouble sleeping.
Bean, listen,
I really do.
The truth is,
I take my sleeping pills and I'll be out for a couple hours and I'm back up.
Yeah.
So let's do this, guys. I'm gonna keep interrupting everybody on this. Let's switch us back to the positive for a minute. Let's switch it back to the positive. Bas is already doing it. Bas is inspiring us. Flex, you and I know that we can do this. We know Butterbean can too, but we'll say that for another day. We'll say that.
I'm not going to let Butterbean excuse himself out of this. No way. It's no effing excuse that you can possibly give me, Bean, that I'm going to accept. Okay, listen, I don't want to fight you, but I'm very, very scary with weapons, man. I'm scary. I'm good to about 600-700 yards out. So don't put me in a predicament where I have to put some BB shots in that big ass of yours, but we're going to get you in shape. You hear me?
Hey, you got to remember, you live in Las Vegas. I'm from Alabama. We got real weapons here.
Oh, okay.
You know, and the thing I want to say about training, like the times that you don't want to train, those are the days that makes you the strongest if you do go.
Yeah,
and what you need to do is what I do. I really don't want to go. And I have this more often, but I focus on the feeling that I will have afterwards. And that will always help me. And once I'm half through my workout, I go, okay, now it's good. I can finish. And then I'm actually really happy that I did it. But it's not doing it. You're letting yourself down. And then it's like hitting the snooze button every time. You know, I'll do it tomorrow. And then go down.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Bas. The last 2 weeks, I've been strict on my diet. I mean, like, dead strict. I mean, I haven't veered. I haven't done... I mean, I'm getting about 120 grams of protein, probably 30 grams of carbs. I mean, like.
Are you living a day?
That's it.
How can you even function with that? That's
not always easiest, but I can make it.
It's not always easy. Well, you know what? You're halfway there. That food and the way we eat is almost 70 to 80% of getting in shape as it is. So, man, you're halfway there. I haven't even accomplished that. Of getting my food back in, but we're gonna make this happen. And you're right. I know I got a lot of family back out in your regiment. I know about you guys and your weapons and everything. I'm just saying, Bean, don't put me in that predicament where I have to put some little BB shots in you, because then it's all downhill from there. And you know what? I'm gonna go and stay with Bas. So if you want to fight, you're gonna have to grapple him before you even touch me. So let's just do the good thing. Look at Bas. I just want to say this real quick.
Let's do this, man. Why, if you're up for it, let's have a conversation tomorrow morning. We're gonna start tomorrow, right? This is our starting
morning.
Point.
I'm like Bean. It can't be in the morning, bro. I mean,
come on, let's do it early, like 5. Come on, let's shit.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
On
right,
top of that,
guys.
you're earlier than us anyway. So, but I know let's do that. Let's hold each other accountable. But I got to say this. I know I said it before, but I need you guys to understand. I mean, Bas and Bean, I looked up to you guys. I watched you fight on my TV in my living room, and you know, I had a chance to brush shoulders with you, Bas, before, never with you, Bean. But you gentlemen just don't understand, you know, what an honor it is to sit here and be able to look at you guys and talk to you guys, because now I brag about it. I was bragging to my son, you know, he goes, "That's not the real brother." I go, "That is him," you know. He's like, "What?" And it's just amazing, you know, to be able to hear to sit and talk to you guys, and to consider you guys my brothers and everything. You guys just don't know. I feel like a fan. I know what it feels like to be a fan, and I feel like one around you guys. But, you know, like I said, Bean, you just rewrote the fighter's manual of what a fighter have to look like. Bas, you're at the beginning of it before all this kind of political BS was involved. You know, it was real fighting back in your days. You know, even when I was a kid, it was real effing fighting, man. You get broke, you get your jaw broke, you stand up, you shake the guy's hand and give him a hug because it was nothing
things
personal.
break.
Huh?
Hey, Rick, let's see if we can answer some questions tonight. We ain't done that in a while. What do you think, Bas?
Let's do it.
About what?
No, from our viewers.
Oh, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. First of all, thanks everybody, because I see a lot of people. That 2-man power trip, that was me actually. Thanking everybody, because they go, hey, and they all, man, the people that are listening like us and love us, and we love you guys right back. So yes, let's answer some questions.
Absolutely.
Can Rachel pop them up for us, Rick?
Yeah, Rachel or John will do that for us.
I just want to give back to the fans. You know, they've been listening and dedicated, and I get them private messaging me on Facebook, and I'd like to, you know, just answer, because they got questions for y'all too.
Let's do it. I think that's a great idea.
Yep,
absolutely. So we know that Rachel and John. Here we go. Eddie wants to know if there's any more Bas Rutten products coming to market. We know about the O2.
I want to know if you got any more products coming out.
Yeah, no, not more. It's the O2 trainer I'm focusing on right now. I have an idea though, and I will make that thing. And once you see it, everybody's going to go, "Why didn't I come up with that stupid thing?" It's one of those things that every martial arts gym wants to have at least one or two. And and I can't say anything because it's going to be very easy to make, but it's a big thing. So it's a small thing, but it's a good concept. And I'm going to come up with that. Yeah, now I made everybody wondering what it is, but I'll make sure I'm going to do it fast.
Well, that's good. That makes them wonder and think.
That's right. That's right. We got another one.
From
against 2.5 long. Okay, that's for you, Bean. Joep, that's a Dutch guy.
Who's that for? One round?
I think it's for you then. Just one round.
I would say that could be for all three of you guys.
Yeah,
actually, I know I have one though also. And this is gonna piss Bas off, but I'm gonna say it. If I could fight one round against anybody, Donald Trump Jr., hands down. It made me so happy.
You know what?
I'll
answer that question first. One round, how long? Who would it be? You know what? Me against me. That's the worst opponent I've ever faced is myself, my mental thoughts, my challenges. There's no one that's a worse adversary for me to fight because I know all of myself. And I wouldn't pick anyone else to fight on actually right now because I'd be an easy prey. So if it was shooting,
no, you got that Karate Kid thing going, man.
Yeah, the thing is that I watched that Russo and all of them, and it's great that they can continue making money off that Karate Kid. But I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, just it's beautiful that they're making money, and but I mean, Karate Kid, you're not a kid no more, and even though that probably did wonders for the sport of martial arts, for me, a real martial artist, it didn't because things were so phony. You can't get away with those kicks and those, I guess it's TV though, right? I guess it's
so
TV.
Flex. Are you seriously saying that Daniel LaRusso could not take Bas Rutten in his prime? Really?
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Dude, it is
I love to see that.
Enjoy the show.
Let's talk about boxes.
I enjoy the show. I enjoy the show. But
me too.
There's nothing real about Daniel LaRusso. Oh my God, he is like the worst TV martial artist of all time. Anyway,
and see that's why it bothers me, is because we have some great real martial arts out there that paved the way, but we can't cash in on it. It's like that old story about Bruce Lee. He couldn't make it because of the way he looked, so they end up getting the other guy. And I watched the movie my whole life. Yeah. Because he looked the part. And it sucks for us who really put in the hard work. We can't go and cash in that way. You know what I mean? I won't say anything about other martial artists who really made a big name, but they're kata kings. We call them kata queens. You can do great katas. Take your foot and stick it straight in the air, and there it is. You're going off and doing movies, but man, you weren't the meat and the bread of it. So, but
well, let me tell you, Pat Morita coming my dressing room all the time when I was fighting in Vegas, and he told everybody, he taught me everything I know.
Oh, that's so cool, man. I mean, you met him. That's so cool.
He really was good guy.
Wow. He got an Oscar nod for that, right? For the part.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
So, boss, if you could fight anyone, right? If you can fight anyone, let's say that you're just in primo condition, and we leap forward you into time, and any of the fighters right now, who would you take on and why?
I would like to fight Israel Adesanya because he's such a phenomenal striker, and I would just love to test my striking skills against him.
Wow.
He's too light. I go, listen, I've always been a very light heavyweight. Like I told before.
He froze up for a minute. Who's that?
Israel
Adesanya. Yeah, he's an animal. I really like his style, the way he presents himself. He's so calm and cool and collected, and that's the only reason. There's no thinking. Oh, I'm going to beat him up. No
malice or anything like that, right?
Would just love to see because he's so phenomenal. And
and what about you, Bean? Who would you want to fight if you were just in a prime condition and we just like Star Trek just beamed you ahead of time? Who would you fight right now and why?
I've always wanted to fight Tyson just to do it.
Good God,
he wouldn't be afraid. I've never been knocked out. Mike has. Mike's been knocked out by people that I've knocked out. A guy named Louis Monaco knocked out Kevin McBride. McBride knocked out Tyson. Monaco knocked out Buster Douglas. Douglas knocked out Tyson.
Who wouldn't pay to see that fight?
Mike,
good grief.
Mike would come to fight. He wouldn't be one.
Whoa, you're freezing.
It would have been a great fight.
It would have been a great fight, no kidding. Good grief. What do you guys?
But Flex, boss. Speaking of great fighters, this week I closed a deal between Cameo and Bellator, so I started getting a lot of the Bellator guys on the platform, and I'm going to say these names wrong, but both Gegard Mousasi and Melvin Manoff asked me to say hello to you. So
nice.
Say that here.
I love these guys, man. And as a fighter, but Manhoef was freaking animal. But then Mousasi, I always thought he had just some bad luck. I think he could have been easy the champion at the UFC. He would move to the left, and by accident the guy would make a kick, and he would dip his head into the kick by accident. And I go man. And if you look at his record, he's got a lot of submissions, a lot of knockouts. He's good everywhere. And he's but he doesn't, the personality. They want, fire right now. But look what he's doing in Bellator. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy, very respectful guy. Yeah, I really enjoy watching him. And Manhoef, I mean, what a freaking animal.
Raymond Daniels is a good friend of mine, and he fights Bellator. He's one of the champions. I watched Raymond when we fought Point Karate. He was a little bit younger than me, and I watched him transition over to full contact. But yeah, Bellator got some fighters. This is an interesting question down here. Who's going to take it first?
Before we get to that, Flex, I wanted to mention January 22nd, later this month, I'll be in Vegas for the big UFC heavyweight fight.
Really? You know what? I've never been to a UFC fight ever.
Well, if you let me continue, I was about to invite you. So there you have it.
Wow, I'd love to, man. I'd love to. Actually, no, I went to one fight, and this is how long ago it was. It was when It was when Gracie fought Matt Hughes. Remember that fight?
Oh, wow, yeah.
That was the first and only fight I ever went to, and I was so high up I couldn't even see the fighters. It looked like little stick people, but I remember that. I remember that fight. God bless Matt's soul for everything that he had to go through and everything. But wow, I remember that fight. But I would love to. I would absolutely love to, man. I would love to.
Put it on your calendar, January 22nd, and we'll get to say hello to everybody. Probably not before they fight because it's not pro wrestling after all.
Sure.
They have to have their heads in the game. But
read the question, everybody. Flex. I would handle it just like I handle life. I mean, just let it breeze right off me. But go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the question, so it's asking us, what's your opinion on the movies that has men in an embarrassing situation and get made fun of afterwards, and how would you deal with it if it happened in younger real life when you were younger? Me, like Bean, I mean, kind of just like, no disrespect for what I said about Karate Kid. It's done amazing. It's meant to be a movie. It is a movie. It has all of us talking about it right now. I mean, no disrespect. I'm just speaking from a fighter's point of view, which is very different than movies. But some of the greatest sayings in the world is, exposure is exposure. Whether it's looked upon bad or good is how you make it. So, I think these guys are being paid. I don't know any of these big time actors that take a role that they're not aware of that might cause some type of stereotypism, but they're being paid it's a movie.
Is it just on my screen, Bossy's freezing, or is it on everybody's?
No, I can hear you guys.
We're all good. We're all good.
Awesome. Like if I was an embarrassing, I just sort of roll off. I get a lot of people on like TikTok, and they have trolls that just bash them and bash them. They just don't know how to handle it. I just don't let it bug me, which makes the troll person more pissed off if you just ignore.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just look to the positive side of it. I mean, if you just look at the negative things, it's not good.
Agreed. No one's gonna like everybody. You got to have kind of thick skin, which I don't have. I take everything very personal. It hurts my feelings, but I got to learn how to handle myself. But I get some of the worst comments on Instagram. I mean, literally, right? I get pictures of people from back in like the 40s that literally like real pictures of them being hung, and they'll put my picture in there, and they'll be like, you're nothing but an N. You deserve nothing but to be hung like a dog. I just laugh. You know what I mean? So it's people think it's all positive comments that I get. I mean, I get some pretty crazy thing like, I want to kill you. You're nothing but an N. You and your family deserve to get hung, or I wish they'd chop your other leg off or whatever. But I think people like that. They're really hurting. They're hurting worse than I ever could hurt. And for them to take time and to send me a message or to send anyone a derogatory or negative message, you just got to look at the bigger picture. How happy must they really be? So
it's ugly. Their parents did a really good job in raising them, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you see this also on TV, you see these actors now, and they're getting very angry and emotional involved and in politics and everything. I go, you used to be such a sweetheart, and now look at you. You're such an angry old person. Like, what a way to wrap up your beautiful career about spitting out all that anger. And I go, why would you do that? It's such a shame how things can change. And people like that, yes, I do the same thing. I do most of the time. I do react, but I make it a funny thing because it is funny to me. Whoa, I think we're locked up. Are you guys still there? Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay, good. So what did this one guy say? What was it? It was yesterday. Oh, he was talking, that my career was shit. And this guy, that's why I never fought Dave Bruno. He was naming boxers. And I go, dude, I'm sorry. I never knew they did mixed martial arts. I thought they only were boxing. I go, what is that for a comment? I'm doing mixed martial arts, and they're going to tell me, I was afraid of Frank Bruno and other guys from England who were boxers. I go, I don't understand. That's why. Then I react, and then I say, hey, I didn't know they were doing mixed martial arts.
You know what, Rick?
I get all the time. Well, Bean, you need to fight Jake Paul or his brother Logan Paul. I'm going, dude, they're little bitty dudes, not even my weight class.
Yeah.
It'd be like
it's
I
a beautiful.
could fight Floyd Mayweather and the dude both at the same time and knock them both out.
You know, it's an old saying, you're never going to make everybody happy. You know, there was probably people back in the days when Jesus walked across water, it was probably somebody like, yeah, but can you swim though? You know what I mean? You're just never going to make everybody happy. And, we just got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. You know, I've always had this analogy. There's more people who would flip me off and drive by than it would be people who would walk right up to my face and flip me off. So that's how many real people there is out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, none. That's why I have the fake accounts, and they're just on the computer. They're very safe, It's really, if you think about it, it's a pathetic thing. Imagine you write all your spit out on a fake account. You go to bed, you're brushing your teeth, you look in the mirror, and there you see a guy who has zero balls whatsoever. But do you think he's looking in the camera and he goes like in the mirror like, oh man, that was awesome today. Yeah. It's really, if you think like that, you're a very, I don't know yet. There's no words for yet. I'm going to make up no words for people like that.
Yeah, we got to come up with a nice word. I remember this one time I was walking through a club, and I wasn't a big guy in going out. I'm just not that type of guy. I don't like going out. And whenever I would go out, it would be at least 6 of us, and we're all 290 plus. So if you see the first one, you might think of making a comment, but by the third time some guy walks by that's 290 plus, you're gonna be like, oh, let's leave these guys alone. I'm really good at reading people's lips, and I seen this guy as I was walking by. He mouthed to his girlfriend or girls that he was with, yeah, but he probably has a little penis, right? And I went over and I leaned over. I go, you know what's the bad part about it is, I go, that's how much of a punk you are. I go, and now you have to sit with these girls for the rest of the night, and they know that you're a punk because I just confronted you. So how bad is that? I go, and it really don't matter how big my penis are because they know how little yours is. But it's just, that's all people hide. You know what I mean? It is sad. But who is this? Brian, who's asking us each of our favorite brand of what?
Band, like rock band.
Music.
Yeah, band. Rock band. Okay.
Or country or folk dancing or what's yours, Rick?
In general. I go by my favorite live bands and concerts. I've seen so many. So I know my order real quickly. Number 1, the Ramones. Number 2, the Rolling Stones. Number 3, Queen. Those are my big 3. Wow.
What about you, Bas?
For me, I think one of the best songs in the world is the very simple song, but I love Let It Be from the Beatles.
Wow.
And I love the Beatles. Wow. I mean, the way how they progressed for Love, Love Me Do, and then they go over in the Blue album where it becomes like freaking unbelievable. They play every instrument. Super impressive, but that song "Let It Be" somehow it's I don't know. I've lost a lot of songs, but
they had better acid back then, Bas. They had better acid than they do now.
Yeah, they do.
What about you, Bean? What about you, Bean? What's your favorite band?
I'm more into the country music, like Hank. My favorite song probably out of everything, it's 99 Luft Balloons.
By Nina, who's a German artist. I know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
She does it in English and in German.
Bean, you know what? I got to tell you, Bean, I was driving up home the other day, and I was, for some reason, not in a great mood. And that song came on the radio, and I remember having this thought process that, like, wow, this song just completely changed my mood to positive. It's a great song. You're absolutely right.
Isn't that the one thing beautiful about music, about movies? It crosses all racial barriers. You could have someone who's so militant against a certain race, but they'll sing that song. It's, reminds me back, even though I wasn't born then, it reminds me back in the 40s and the 60s. You would have, a person on stage and the whole audience is a complete different color than that performer. But because of music and how powerful and beautiful it is, it just erases color bearers and AIDS bearers and everything like that. It's just so amazing, right?
Yeah, music will definitely bring people together.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, especially in the live arena, music will bring people together. I used to love punk rock, but you go there, and actually there will be polarizing forces at a punk rock concert. But Flex, like My favorite genre of music is reggae. Reggae is by far my number one genre of music.
Man, talk about
if you
some
go to
real
a show
music.
by the Wailers or Ladysmith, Black Mazombo, man, it's just all love. Talk about across racial barriers. Wow. You're 100% right.
I think reggae music is probably one of the most crossed over barriers that just majority of the night is all about love and peace and sacrifice and just forget about the BS, pass over, a blunt and it's just beautiful. I mean, probably reggae music is probably the wellest crossover music there is. I would probably say second to that would probably be country because, I have some country bands that I just love. I mean, I would have loved to see some of these guys perform, back in the days. But, historically, when you hear country music and you hear yeehaw, it's time for somebody like me to run,
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Flex, I'm thinking we have two new goals along with our new getting in shape goal. One is you and I got to go to Alabama, and Boss, we got to meet Boss there. And Bean's got to take us to a good down-home country western concert. And then we got to bring Bean to a reggae concert.
Oh, hell yeah. And we got to go shooting. I love shooting. We got to go shooting. Bean, I got to test your skills. You say you from, but I want to see if you can get at it for real. So we got to test your skills, but I love shooting. Boss, you got a beautiful question.
I got like the a Tommy gun, a 45 caliber from back in an old original.
Wow. Talk about a collector's item.
On it. I inherited it from my father-in-law. He was dying of cancer, and that's something he wanted. Then he went out and bought a boat, and he carried that gun fully loaded everywhere he went.
Your gun ain't no good unless it's loaded.
No, it was loaded. I'm in Mississippi promoting a fight, and the commission was giving me a lot of trouble about this lineup or that lineup. And he looks at me dead serious, looks at me and goes, "You want me to get the Tommy gun?" Fine. He put a sign on the fishing boat, "Do not disturb." Wow. He had Tommy gun with him.
Wow. You ever shoot that thing, Butter?
I have not.
Really? I'd love to have a conversation and see if I can take it off your hands. That's a serious collector's item.
It's in the Sand family. I mean, it was kind of like,
so
my boys
not family.
Inside joke with him. It was like it's pretty sentimental to us.
Wow. So you're saying I'm not family? Wow. You just okay? No. You said it. I want to keep it in the family. Flex, you're not in the family. So wow. Okay. Well, cool.
Hey,
Flex, you're like a third generation family.
And Flex.
Yes,
how do you think I feel?
I think everybody's freezing. I'm not. Are you there, Boss?
You got a great question down there. You see it?
Yeah. I think I mentioned this on the. It's not a professional fight. It was my first fight when I stood up against the bully. That's the thing that still gets me till this day. I don't know why. And sometimes on talks or something, I can't even get emotional about it. It's so weird. But it was the first guy, biggest bully in my town for years and years and years. I took a few months of Taekwondo, and suddenly they started again screaming, "Hey, leper!" They always called me a leper because of my skin disease. And this time I shouted something back, and they started laughing. I heard them laugh. I looked back at the show. They started to chase me, but I put my bike on the stand, and I go, "This is it. I'm not going to run anymore." And then they surrounded me with the bikes, and I knocked him out. One punch, he was out, and that changed everything. It was 95%.
The whole trajectory of life.
All the bullying stopped. Everybody was like, "Oh crap!" And that's why I always say, sometimes you have to speak their language, and if the message is violence, well, you're gonna have to answer in violence. Always do it double. That's what I say. And so that was it. Wow. That was it. That put me on my career. That put me on everything. And Bruce Lee all started that.
Yeah. Bruce Lee started my career. It was a recreational center that they would come play movies sometimes, and I seen Enter the Dragon when I was 7 years old, and my God, I just took from there on. I just loved martial arts, and I even had the honor of being on I forgot what program it was, the Discovery Channel, where I was able to speak on Bruce Lee's behalf of how he affected my life, and it was on Discovery Channel. And the title, it just blew me away. They were following me, getting ready for a show, and the title was "The World's Greatest." So it started off with Muhammad Ali and all these great athletes, and then I'm like, I do not deserve to be up here. I'm a nothing, I'm just some low life kid. But I mean, it was just amazing. But that's another. I want to ponder this question to you, gentlemen. You hear it all the time. Oh, I could have whooped Bruce Lee. I could have did this, that, and other. My opinion is this, and I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. What they're doing is they're not allowing Bruce Lee to have evolved 40 years. So he was already ahead of all of us, right? Even in the Enter of the Dragon, he performed an arm bar. I don't think anyone probably even knew back then what he was really doing. So when they say that I could have beat Bruce Lee, what they're not allowing is for him to have continued to evolve these 40 years. So what are your thoughts when you guys hear that?
It's stupidity. It's apples and oranges. You can never do that. I say the same thing as you. Imagine that Bruce Lee will be back from the dead, and now you let him train for 1 year with all these crazy fighters that we have. I would love to see that. Because, of course, if he comes back with the skills that he had now against professional fighters, you're not going to make it. But you give this guy with an incredible talent a little bit of time, that's a whole different animal, and I think he would do good. I interviewed his daughter.
Wow.
And that was a big day for me. I was also very emotional. The fact that I'm talking to you, I told her right now, is because of your dad. Because if I didn't see that movie, Enter the Dragon, just like you had, there was Jackie Chan was in that movie. He's one of the guys with the sticks who get right away get wasted. Samuel Hong in the beginning with that weird upside down crucifix on his neck and neck crank that he did. I mean, it was crazy. And like I told you before, last time I had the book, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. I mean, heel hooks, inverted heel hooks, knee bars, you name it. It's in the freaking book. Very impressive.
Even in that movie, Enter the Dragon, he had on Kempo fighting mitts, right?
Yeah. Those big,
yeah. What do you think about that, Bean?
I really didn't watch a lot of Bruce Lee movies. I'll be honest with you guys.
Shame on you.
But I've watched them. I'm not really never really just followed it like that.
Right.
Yep.
So, Bean, you got a question?
I never had any negotiation about fighting Tommy Morrison. I met Tommy a couple times. He was a little out there, a little nut job in a way, but seriously was.
Wow.
But no, he was in and out before I pretty much got in there and got going.
Yeah, shoot. Being in '91 when I was running Pleasure Island for Disney, we did a Rocky V promotion, and we brought Tommy Morrison out, and that entire weekend, with Tommy leading the charge, that could have been the poster child for the sex, drug, and rock and roll movement. Oh my God,
he's in that job. Yeah,
this guy was off the chain. A nice enough guy, really fun to hang out with for a weekend. Any longer than that, probably be dead. But wow. And
I've always found it so sad that, but it's true, right? With great talents, it comes great responsibility. It's not like you're going to have some great, incredible talent, whether it's intelligence or money or looks, without an equal adversary, which is normally inside you. And that's why I was saying before, the worst person I ever want to get in combat with is myself. But it's always sad that with such great, incredible talent comes along all the heavy, ugly, evil things along with it. Boss, you talking about the first time we met, and probably a good job, thing that we didn't talk too much more because you mentioned what you were into back then. But I find it very interesting, if we live long enough, who wises up and stop that BS and become a better person. Some people just, their life is cut short, and you never know if they would have evolved or whatever. But it's even more sad, I think, the people that we personally know and we knew how they were then, and we see they still about that BS right now. It's like, really, man, really? Yeah. You haven't, you know what I mean? It's just really sad.
No, Flex, it's a really wise comment, man. It's like a guy like Tommy Morrison is a perfect example of that. He was so talented and a nice guy in my 2-day experience with him anyway. But you're right, the talent and the responsibility. And I think that's why there are like so few truly iconic people still alive from our generation. There's not many Bas Ruttens, Butterbeans, or Flex Wheelers. There just aren't. And God knows, you guys have your challenges. But Flex, think about where you've been, what you've been through, what Bean's going through, what Bas has gone through, and where you are now. So a testament to you guys for, I know you said you don't want to battle yourself, but Flex, you've done that and you've won. And I know that you're lying in bed in pain a lot of days. I know, Bean, you're depressed a lot. I'm right there with you. But look, man, we're getting up and we're fighting the fight every day. So, you know, bless all those who are and those who still can.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. One thing that helps is having friends, and then my hobby. You know, I make my ink pens and my razor. That really helps me get out of the funk. If not, I just lay in bed.
He's straddling it.
Oh yeah.
So who's going to take this first?
I'll be eagerly awaiting my razor in the mail.
Who's going to take this first question here?
Go ahead, Flex. All you.
Let's read the question. Do you think in not just MMA but also boxing, we should have an indicator on who won that round by round? So if a fighter is down on the scorecards, he can dig deep and not just coast like a lot of fighters do because they think they have it in the bag. Guys, you're in combat. You know if you're winning or not. Do you not?
No, some people don't. They truly believe they're ahead.
Yeah.
And they're doing horribly. So no, that I always said, but somehow they, I always thought, if they give the scorecard in the middle, then you can have somebody from home with an earpiece to the coach and say, hey, you're behind, because it would greatly help. If you tell your fighter, listen, you just lost this round, 100% of the scorecard is what they scored, he will go fight. So, yeah, I love that idea.
I don't think it ever happened. And the reason why is because more than a sport is a business, and they really just don't give a damn about the athletes. They give about the money. And I think for whatever finagling that goes on in all sports, right, even just walks of life, it takes away that ability to BS us if they were to do that. I remember one time at the Olympia, they had to score of each round right there on the Teletron. And we were watching and we were amazed because the current champion, who had been just defeating everybody, was losing on all points. And before the final was up, they took all the points down and it wouldn't show us anymore. And it ended up that the current champion went on and ended up winning. But I think if they really wanted to be honest and true to the sport, they would do that. But we all know money runs all of this, and they're never going to let that happen.
Flex, I got a funny question for you, Flex. So if the scorecards are being posted in Bas is fighting, Butterbean is fighting, and they find they're behind, they can go, okay, fight harder. That's simplistic, but they decide to fight harder. If you're a bodybuilder and you find out you're behind, what can you do?
Nothing. You're there already.
I don't know.
You're there already. It's different. That's one of the reasons I've always loved martial arts.
Is he froze or is it just me?
Nope, just you.
We're good.
I've always loved fighting because I can control my destiny through these and through my hands. I can fight harder. I can try to kick hard. I can try to take your will away from you by breaking something on you or hitting you so hard that I just take the fight away. In bodybuilding and like a beauty pageant or something like that, it's subjective. We're all men here, so let's say that we have two incredibly beautiful women walk through the door, and we're all four sitting there, and they're just, let's just say for the sake of it, they're knockout gorgeous. But for some reason, the girl on the right has more presence over the girl on the left. Therefore, we stare at her more. I've already said, for the sake of this conversation, they're identical and they're knockout gorgeous. But it's our perception and how we perceive them that she's better looking. In fighting, it doesn't effing matter. If I break you off, everybody's seen it. And even more so, you've seen it. So you have a chance to change. Even if you're losing, like they said, the scorecard, and you're behind. Me, that'd be like, I have nothing to lose. Let me throw everything I have at this man. In bodybuilding, it's a wrap. It's a perception. It's a way they look at you that perceives that. So it's quite different, from combat sports versus, a beauty pageant or a bodybuilding or something like that. It's what we think of that person. It doesn't mean that person's any of that. But as a fighter, you see every bit of who that person is. And even more side, you see what that person is made of, something that they can't hide. All fighters know it. We can look in your eyes. We can see what you're made of. When we hit you or you're touching us, we feel that and we understand what you're thinking and how positive you feel about it. There's no hiding from that. I've always thought that it's the most purest, beautiful sport in the world is combat. Man, you truly, truly will find out who you are. Your own self will reveal yourself to you when you're fighting. It's just amazing, man. It's nothing beautiful than that. It's nothing more beautiful than fighting.
But with me, when I was fighting, I give everything I had out there anyhow. I mean, if I was ahead or behind, I'm giving 100% anyhow. So to me, it didn't matter.
Yeah. I was the same way, Bean. It's like the one video you were talking about, Boss, before about that sidekick. He goes, were you mad at that guy? Or no, I just only knew one gear. And that's like everything I got because I'm a scared fighter. I'm very aware of that. You can have the worst punk in the world knock you out. All they got to do is touch you. Touch me here. Touch me here. Touch me back here. You're going to kill me. Touch me in my solar plex. I'm folding. Touch my kidney and my liver. I'm folding. Right. So that's I only know one gear and I didn't want to know what a person had to offer me. I was terrified. So my thing is just throw first and throw last and throw all of my might. You know what I mean? I only knew one way. Yeah. And I understand now fighters, they kind of think, well, let me pace myself because I got a long way to go. No, I would train with the thought I want to throw every kick and every punch at the fast and as hard as I could. So I trained that way so I could fight that way the whole fight. But it's different now. But like you, Bean, I didn't know no other way but just going all out. And I thought I owed it to my opponent to give him everything I got,
So, Boss, would you fight strategically or are you going all out?
No, it's a thing with me. I think I talked about this one time. So everybody was always talking to me and they said, what a great striker I am from a great Thai boxer. And I go, well, to tell you the truth, at Thai boxing, I just had a lot of power and I just knocked everybody out. But as soon as I fought like an A-class fighter, I lost that fight because of stamina. And the reason was because I did everything I could to knock him out, but I lost my stamina because of it. And it was because I was not in control. I wasn't when you can fight like you do in the ring, like in the training, that is the trick to fighting. If you can master that to do the same thing under pressure with your family members and friends watching, that is the trick. That's the goal. And somehow that happened for me the first fight in Japan. Wow. I was blown. While I'm fighting, I'm thinking, what's going on? I can hear everything. I heard English-speaking people on the first row talking to each other about conversation they had. I heard my corner, because Japan, everything is quiet. And it was because of the weight difference. He was 20 pounds heavier. I was talking about this. It was a 30-minute round. And that somehow forced me to be more calm. And it changed me. I was amazed. And again, I might be, to you guys, repeat myself. If you saw me in Thai boxing, every picture you see, it's like, I'm just knocking him out. In my fighting in Japan, it was this. There was no facial movement. Everything was so calm and relaxed. It blew me away. I mean, the thing happened in the first round, and it's, I don't know. Did I tell you this story or not?
No.
You guys?
I don't remember this.
Okay, so watch this. So I don't know why I'm doing this. This is all, it's like almost two voices in my head. So I come out, I give the guy a right high kick. He's 6'4", he's taller than me, and I can palm strike him under the jaw. He goes down, right? Now, there were 8 counts in Japan. So my mind, one voice is shouting, run to the corner, because if I'm in the corner, that's when they start counting. So the faster I'm in the corner, the less amount of rest he gets.
Yeah.
But the other voice tells me, don't, wait, look at him. And I go, I'm almost like talking to these people. And I see him looking at me. And so I stopped for a moment and I get locked eyes with him. And then I turned around very slowly and walked to the back to the ring, letting him know, take all the time you need to rest. But that other voice is telling me, run, go faster. But the other guy says, no, stay calm. And I'm literally going, what is going on? This is so, and I'm hanging in the corner. I'm looking like I'm completely relaxed. It was all acting. And then I come out and I blast him and I got him. But that happened to me in my first fight. And I never experienced things like that. And that put me on the map immediately. And that's when I started fighting like I was doing in training. That's when I really mastered it. But in Thai boxing in Holland, I wasn't like that.
Boss and also Butter, did you have it? Was it different training than it was fighting and competition. For me, I could never kick as fast or hard, or I could never just, things would just happen, right? It's like you're saying, Boss, things slow down so dramatically, right? And your mind is like hyperdrive, but everything else is slow. It always bothered me that I could never fight at my peak when I trained. But as soon as I got in the ring, something would click over. And even a person who might give me a problem in training, if we met in a ring for real, I would just run through them. So was it different for you guys? Were you a different person training fighting versus was fighting as far as combat?
For me, yeah. No, I think I was, it sounds all like an ego thing, but it really is the truth. I felt that like I was even better in fighting than in training, because I was more aware. It was like my focus. That's what I miss the most. I have ADHD. My mind never stops. It's very hard for me to focus. And that is the only time, that and good sparring sessions, when my mind is complete at ease, at peace. Yeah. There's no thinking, because I can't. I have to focus on the guy. Yeah. And that was such a calm effect. And that's what I miss the most, actually. Also submissions, ground fighting. It's really good to just stop thinking and be busy, because you make a mistake, they get you. So yeah. So I always liked fighting. It put me in a bubble. That's what I always called it. I'm in a bubble, I'm cut off, and I hear everything, and I fight well. I feel good.
What about you, Bane?
I went out and had fun. That was the crazy part. I was just having a good time.
God damn.
The bonus, I got paid for it.
And you know what, Boss, those are the worst type of fighters to fight, right? When they're just so relaxed and enjoying themselves in the ring. It's just amazing. For the question for me, what background in martial arts? I started with Shoin-ryu karate. Then I changed over to Shotokan. Then I went to Chinese Kung Fu, Hapkido karate, White Crane Kung Fu. Then I came back and I studied Kempo and Taekwondo. So I never believed in a style is the best. It's the fighter. It's the fighter 100%. And even at a young age, I always understood that most styles have a weakness. Except I would probably credit Muay Thai probably the most efficient fighting system there is, because you're using all points, hands, elbows, head, everything. Where, Kempo is mostly hands, right? A grapple is mostly groundwork. Taekwondo is mostly kicks. So I just always tried to involve all the different disciplines so that I can be more of a well-rounded fighter. But I just love the sport of martial arts. I just think it's, like I said before, I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just, man, if I ever got hit and rocked, or somebody just rung my bell, I'd damn near give them a hug, like, God dang, man, shit, yeah, I love you. Let's get it on. It's just beautiful. It's pure.
Yep.
It's no attitude. At least back in my days, there was no attitude, because you get your ass handed to you quick. So it's something just so beautiful.
And by the way, you were talking about the art of 8 limbs, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But then you have Lethwee. Dave LeDuc is a buddy of mine. He's the Lethwee champion. There's the art of 9 limbs. When I heard that, I started laughing. What, they include headbutts? And they go, yeah. I go, whoa. And not only that, it's bare knuckle. So these guys fight bare knuckle, including headbutts. And if you see this guy knocking people out with headbutts, it's pretty freaking amazing. He's got crazy elbow power. I felt him, I was training with him. And but boy, at bare knuckle. And then you look at CTE wise, it's actually safer than boxing, because they can't go all out on the head, because they will break their hands. So body work happens a lot in those kind of sports. Sure, you get superficial wounds, cuts here and that, but the brain actually has less to endure than you have in boxing. And in boxing also, the training over and over, getting hit. 90%, let's face it, it's to the head. And that's doing really the damage in boxing, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why those boxers, dude, they're so freaking tough. People always go, they say, oh yeah, but they have less things. Maybe I was talking about this last week. Like I said, in Thai boxing, it's easier to knock somebody out than in boxing. And you go like, how's that possible? Because we have more weapons. I can distract you with a low kick and you can react to it. And kind of in boxing, you have only these punches that you can throw.
Yeah.
Go. And they all know it. So for you to still be able to knock somebody out, you need more skill. So that's what I always thought. You can't compare it.
No.
It's really hard.
No. And you know what? The headbutt is something that's so underrated. It's right there. It's right in your face. I mean, somebody talking, bing, their nose is broke. You know what I mean?
That's
the hardest bone in the body right there too, right?
As a bouncer, when I have problems
you
with
never want to hit a person right there because you're going to break your hand on their head. It's the hardest part on the body. You know,
I would use it as a bouncer with a lot of people watching.
Quite well.
Huh? What did you say, Bean?
Vander Holyfield used a headbutt quite well. I got a question for you, boss. Have you ever made a friend from the fight? Like somebody you fought, become friends with them because you fought them?
Yeah, 100%. Kevin Randleman became a good friend of mine. You know, and Frank Shamrock, I still have contact with. Guy Metzger, I still love. You know, we became. It's the camaraderie among the fighters. That's what's the most beautiful in fighting. You know, the times that people are really angry, it's 1 in 100. I mean, it's almost, when you see it on TV, it's almost always fake. Those guys, because we go to the same crap, the same workout, same injuries, same everything. So everybody respects each other, you know. And even when you and plus when you duke it out, I mean, look at what was it? Ken Shamrock and Don Fry. They didn't really like each other at all, but after the fight, everything was good. You see, so that's what I like about martial arts. And did you have bad people, Bean?
No, I didn't like. The only person I ever fought that I really didn't like, there was only a couple. If I didn't like them, I didn't want to fight them. I mean, if I really didn't like them, like Larry Holmes, they just offered so much money, I took it. But if I didn't like somebody, I didn't want to fight them. Cabbage Herrera, me and him become good friends because of us fighting.
You want to fight him?
I didn't like somebody, I didn't want to fight him.
What was Larry Holmes? Why was that?
He was just a jerk. The reason I don't want to fight somebody that I don't like is because they're going to get a payday.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can punch you in the nose, and that's going to hurt. But if I take that money out of your pocket, it's going to hurt a lot worse.
Yeah. So what did he do? Why did you decide he's not a good guy? What was the reason?
It's just his attitude about life. I mean, he's not a positive person. He just wasn't. Like the newspaper asked him how the hotel was treating him. The hotel bent over backwards for us when we fought there, and he said, "Yeah, they're okay."
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. I don't know. He's just not. He's not as friendly.
He just rubbed you the wrong way.
Yep. People are different.
Yeah. He just rubbed me wrong.
Yep.
Sometimes, I mean, that's all it takes. You just look at a person and just on visual sight, it's like, man, I don't like this person. You know, it's nothing they said or anything, but I think it's like that, like with a lot of alpha males. You know, either we meet each other and initially we get along great, or forever it's going to be your worst enemy. It's either one or the other, you know.
Well, I think Larry was so underestimated. He wanted to prove somebody that he was better than what people thought he was. Larry, you know, probably one of the top 5 of all times. I mean, out there in boxing world.
Yeah.
But as a person, he like him making a statement about Rocky Marciano couldn't carry his jockstrap. There was no need in that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not cool.
No.
What is this question, Bean? Was it your idea to have the Hershey syrup bottle as your water bottle?
You know, I really don't remember, but you know, Chuck Bodak, you know, the cornerman that done a lot of the. I don't remember.
Just happens to have a bottle of Hershey syrup lying nearby.
That's kind of crazy right there.
Oh God!
And who came up with that? I'm sorry.
You know, Chuck Bodak, the guy that worked at Loyal's Corner, always put stickers on his head.
Okay.
That's what he always used. That's what he used, and my cornerman started using it, and a lot of the stuff that he used. That's Murray Sutherland. That worked my corner lot's the one that started using that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, boss, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh.
So, what is your thoughts on the sport now versus the sport when it was back when you were fighting? Back when you and Don Fry were all banging it out. What do you think about the sport now?
You know, personally, I love it. The skill set they're so high. Everybody knows everything pretty much. You know, there's still, of course, you know, some fighters, they enjoy more knocking people out than submissions, but they know it all. So I see more quality fighters. The weight classes was a great idea because size doesn't matter. I would like to see it. I was talking about this before, like a cruiserweight at 235, because I think the leap between 205 and 265, it's the dumbest thing there is. You know, I would love to see that. I would rather take elbows out on the ground than put knees in there to the head. That would be another rule that I would like, because a knee can actually knock you out. Thankfully, we see more knockouts now by way of elbow, but before it was like 99 from 100 was a cut, and then you lose the fight because you were cut. You come on the street, you wouldn't stop. So why, but so that, it's a nasty way to lose as a fighter if you got a cut. Think about that, because you don't want to stop, but the referee stops the fight, the doctor stops it. So, those rules and everybody's skill level. I was so offended when I was fighting with guys who could not go the distance. I go, it's your job. Well, go run some hills, do something. How can you not go the distance? Like going a painter. I always said it's like a painter goes to the job and half a can of paint, and now he can paint only half the door. It makes no sense. You are in shape or you're not in shape, but don't come to the fight if you're not. It made no sense. And now everybody is in shape. Now everybody can go the distance. It's a whole different animal. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Great fighters like Adesanya, TJ Dillashaw, like all these guys, Petr Yan, Jose Aldo, Rose Namajunas. I can go on and on. Shevchenko. Everybody, there's such an incredible talent. The ladies, I don't want to fight the ladies right now. I'm going to have a problem with them. They're so good.
And it's like you said about Larry Holmes. They feel like they have something to prove as women fighters. They go out there and they bang, man. They bang hard. They don't want to be looked at as a woman fighter. They want to be looked at as a fighter. You know? Wow. Yeah,
many times they save the show, actually. In some shows that the fighters the men were underperforming, and then they wrap it up with the ladies fight to fight of the night. Because women, let's face it, we know they're more violent than us. we know as guys. So,
it's such a different world now, man. It's like, I like to make fun of myself. I'm 1-1 in women's mixed martial arts also, because I got to have little gym sparring sessions years ago, one with Gina Carano at my old gym, Extreme University, and then one with Ronda Rousey at her gym in the Valley. And at that time, this is only 10, 12 years ago, mind you, they'd both kill me, and I know that, but I felt like I could get in there and match them. And they were my weight. They were 135, 140 pounds. These days, you mentioned Rose Namajunas, I don't know how to say Joanna's last name, Jedrzejczyk from Poland, Weili Zhang. These are girls that are 105, 110 pounds. I wouldn't step in for a minute to mess around with them, man. It's just the game has changed. The level is, I thought it was more fun back then, Flex. I had a conversation the other day with Scott Coker and Bas and Bean. You remember Scott Coker? And we were going like, man, it was so fun. We could just decide whoever, would look good on a poster, we'd book them. And then we'd call their style Hawaiian bone breaking or whatever it was. It was a show back then. It was a Wild West. And because of that, it'll never happen again. I think it was a lot more fun then, but it wasn't really a sport. Now it's a sport, man. And, guys like Bas Rutten, guys like Mark Kerr even, they were ahead of their time. These are guys who, like Bruce Lee, you're talking about, would have been at the best in the world right now because of who they are and what they are. Most of people back then, Boss, if this is wrong, correct me, please. Most of the guys in the early days just weren't that good, but they were fun. They were showmen. So it was just a different game.
Yeah, that's why I always said I was just lucky. I steered through everything. I was early on. I realized you have to combine everything in order to get the stamina you need. I did the cross training. I started doing that very early on, and that simply helped me because they weren't doing it, and because they weren't doing it, they were just not ready for it. So now everybody's doing it. So
hey, you know what the end of that era was, Boss? In my mind, the end of that era was a fight at I think LA Sports Arena called WFA. It was a one and done promotion that booked a huge card. The card was unbelievable. And the main event was my client and my friend Kimo Leopoldo against Bas Rutten. And this was like the big main event. And I know there was a bit of a grudge going on back at that time. And I think that probably would have been a bad day for Kimo. I'm certain of that. But Kimo failed the drug test and he couldn't fight. So I brought in an opponent at the last minute to fight Bas. So I was across from Bas. with a guy named Ruben Villarreal, known as Warpath. Great guy. And promoters love Ruben because he was an Indian, American Indian. He came out with the Indian gimmick, great showman. The guy would fight anybody, anytime, anywhere with no notice. So promoters loved him for that also. But that fight is when you saw the change in mixed martial arts, I think, forever. Because Ruben Warpath is a big guy. He's 6'4", 260 pounds, 265, right at that level. And you just knew in the first 5 seconds that Warpath had no chance whatsoever in this fight. You saw the difference between a showman and a real martial artist like Bas. And I remember standing there thinking, Bas, when that fight was happening and when it was over, this sport is now about to change radically. And it did.
Yeah. And Don Fry fought Ruben like 2 months before that, and it went to a draw. So Don literally called me and he says, Bas, he's got a hard head. I mean, I hit him with everything I had. And I had a rib out. And I couldn't train I could only shadow box for the last 12 or 14 days because I couldn't hit something solid because it would hurt my rib so much. I couldn't roll because I couldn't turn. That's how I hurt my rib, with rolling. So I go, okay, I will try to knock him out. If I see that's going to take an effort, I'm going to go for low kicks. If the low kicks don't work, I'll take him down and we'll submit him. And then, the low kicks worked. So we'll stop on that.
He did.
But he could take a punch. And he was commenting about it. Like I hit him and he goes, man, you're fast. I go, thank you. You literally And then suddenly I hit him again with a cross. And I'm hitting him pretty hard. Sure, I couldn't torque as hard, but still. And he goes, and you hit hard. I go, well, not hard enough. You're still standing, dude. So it was kind of funny.
Oh, my gosh. Sounds like a great person.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's the best.
Yeah, I was very happy because he saved my butt. I already spent like $25,000 in rehab for all the injuries I had. I went in that fight with so many injuries. I was constantly training, rehab. It wasn't fun anymore. My tendonitis, everything came back. I was in so much pain. But now I needed the money. I really needed that money. So thankfully he stood up because all the other guys, Tank Abbott, all these guys who said that they wanted to fight me, as soon as they got it offered, suddenly they want $1 million. Okay. That's not going to happen, you see? So,
and Bas, I don't know if you know like the backstory of all that, but I went through the list on that night. Yeah, I went to Tank first. That was the first choice. And you're right. He was unreasonable. Daniel Pewter. I mean, there were a lot of guys on that list. And when push came to shove, nobody wanted to fight you on short notice. But good old Warpath stepped up, so that was cool.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
And that's kind of what I mean. Different fighters. I mean, I had the honor of watching people fight like Benny the Jet Arquidez. Billy Blanks. I mean, it was just it's just different back then. I mean, they call it ring gentlemanship or angling. I call it running. Because back then you engage your opponent. Now it's about, just that taking off and all. I'm like, really? What is that? But if anybody haven't watched Benny Arquidez fight or his brother Binky or anyone back from that era, you're talking like some true martial artists that if you met them on the street, you're going to get your ASS handed to you. It ain't just no point karate where they touching you. I mean, these guys were like, Benny, I think he went and fought everyone's style system all around the world. And I think he was undefeated, right?
Listen, Benny, did I tell you guys the story from Benny the Jet in Holland? Did you hear that?
Nope.
Yes, I know it, but go ahead. Flex may not have. I know what you're talking about. It's a great story.
So I'm in, this is all the way back. I'm in 86 or something, and I just started Thai boxing. Big Benny the Jet fan because I saw him on the movie Kings of the Square Ring, the documentary, dropping people with spinning back kicks. I mean, you heard the impact. The guy, phenomenal.
Yeah.
He fights this guy, this big black guy that we have in Holland, Iwan Spang. Phenomenal Thai boxer. Benny is not used to fighting with low kicks. So we knew he's going to get canceled with low kicks. And Iwan Spang is going to town on his legs. Somehow, because Benny has a heart 3 times bigger as anybody else, he just kept fighting. He's actually getting booed when he walked to the ring. It started like that, right? And then we saw a whole Rocky scenario. Like in the second round, he's not out. He's still not out. Third round, Benny starts coming back and he starts connecting suddenly with big shots. Then this guy, the Dutch guy, starts spitting out his mouthpiece to get an extra breath. First time, okay. Second time he does it, audience started flipping. Now suddenly they start booing the Dutch guy. And every time Benny connects, whoa, everybody goes crazy. Dude, and then he knocks him out. I get goosebumps now while I'm telling it. He knocks him out I believe in the end of the third round. And people were freaking going nuts for Benny the Jet. Like he came in like Rocky went to Ivan Drago in Russia.
I remember that movie.
Like that. And he completely flipped the script, man. With an unbelievable guy that is. I have been very fortunate. I met him a whole bunch of times. We did seminars together, with a big group. He's a good person, man. And yes, till this day, he can be old. You do not want to fight with this guy. Trust me. He's so fast.
And he's like my size, isn't he?
Yeah, but dude, he's a freak. He's like Ray Boom Boom Mancini. You see him and you're gonna go, he's a little guy. You go, he will knock you out.
No. That's like Steve Sanders, Master Muhammad. Those guys just banged back then. Good grief, man. And I think they really carried the name karate because before karate was a joke, right? Cats really didn't know how to fight. They thought, because they wore some black belt, you're going to be scared of them, or you threw a couple of fancy kicks and you have any natural real street fighter who's going to whoop a half martial artist, who's going to whoop his ass, because the martial artist is only used to training in a gym and a dojo. But, you got guys like Benny the Jet and Master Muhammad. Those guys banged for real, like Bruce Lee. It's different when you fought on the street for your life and then got into fighting as a profession. It's completely different, it's just a different mindset. So yeah.
Hey guys,
thank God though Daniel LaRusso came along and showed the world karate guys can fight.
Gotta go.
Bean, see you, brother.
I got a Skype call. Y'all have a great evening, my friends.
Good to see you again, brother.
Yes, thank you very much, Bean. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, Rick.
No, I was saying thank God Daniel LaRusso came along and showed the world how real karate was. On that note,
I'm not beating up on this guy. I mean, hey, kudos to him. I mean, I think he did a lot, and Karate Kid did amazing for for martial artists and everything like that. I'm talking, and I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. I'm just talking from, I consider myself a pure fighter, and it's just different. It's just different being an actor, acting to be a fighter versus I just think that real fighters can do that job and deserve that money too.
So Flex, you brought up Billy Blanks a couple of times during Talking Tough. Is he a legit martial artist? I always think of him as the Taibo guy.
Oh, fuck no. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Wow. No, so Billy was ahead of me. I was just a green belt when he was fighting. He fought against my my sensei and my father figure and everything like that. But no, Billy was 100% legitimate. And he was one of the very few that started weight training. So he had some beef, his muscles to him also. The guy would legitimately knock people out. You talking like crap that you see in movies with spinning kicks and helicopter kicks and all that. He done it in real combat fighting and would knock the person the F out. He was truly ahead of his game. And those guys were lightning fast. And again, it was called point karate or semi contact, but plenty of people got knocked out all the time, because it takes a certain type of skill set to throw a technique at such great speed that your opponent can't see it. You have no time in pulling back off of that. So, no, and I think even Bas would probably, agree that Billy was a fighter back in his day.
Yeah, yeah.
Good grief. That guy, he hit hard.
Great martial artist.
Just the craziest, dumbest stuff. Literally, he'd do a helicopter. Like what is it called? When you go like this or whatever. Kids do it all the time. Yeah, but he would do that and knock people to F out,
We know what you mean. Well, guys, we are at the end of the hour. Flex, I want to thank you, man. It's like you took over as the host this week, and you did a phenomenal job. And there's something about you. I know you've been in a lot of pain.
It's just, I feel very confident with myself sometimes.
And I got my Glock 9, right? I got my Glock 9 and my AR right here, baby. I got my AR on my Glock 9 right here. It's all good.
I got my little tiny knife. That's what I got.
So you like to do it up and close and personal.
Here, boss. Boss, you ready? Woo!
Oh, look at you, my man. You know what I got?
Right? But Lexi, you're looking great. There's a light about you this week. I don't know what it is.
Thank you.
But,
yep.
Thank
whatever
you.
you're doing,
it's just him upstairs. Just
keep
him
it
upstairs.
up, man, and keep that connection alive, man. You look good. You sound great.
Thank
Boss,
you.
amazing seeing you as always. We'll be back with a big guest next week. It's a guy Flex Wheeler introduced me to, but he may not even know who I'm talking about. And we'll make that announcement via social media this week. And away we go.
We need to get CT Flexer on here. I already spoke to him.
Love to have CT on. That would be a really cool thing. That'd be a great one.
Definitely.
All right, Vatos.
Gentlemen,
have a great rest of the week.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Signing off. We're talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.